I'm big on Napoleon Hill and Think and Grow Rich and the Law of Success. The first time I heard about it was in the Law of Success. I think he briefly touches on a mastermind. And when I read Think and Grow Rich, he goes deep into describing all these different masterminds like Edison and all of these high-level thinkers. And imagine you can have all these masterminds sitting around a table, and any challenge, any roadblock, any idea that you have, you can put it on the table and have all of these amazing people contribute to it. And what you actually end up doing is tapping into the collective mind of everyone that's there, right? So your best idea is not even the best idea. Your best idea is when you can put your idea in front of other great thinkers and everyone can contribute to that idea to really make it the best idea. So years ago, even before COVID, I personally attended to a lot of masterminds. You know, there was a lot of things that I liked, and then there was a lot of things that I didn't like. We've had a lot of public masterminds where I would just get a group of people and mastermind. The idea was I was forming what this retreat would look like in the future. So I've done dozens of those. Years before COVID, we started to do these masterminds and it started to take form. And every mastermind we've ever had, we just improved on the experience and the facilitation, because I'm a facilitator here. I'm here to facilitate the experience for people. And as a result, it's developed into what you see now, right? I'm so proud of all of these masterminds. I'm proud of what we've created. And it's definitely my favorite event. And someone could say that I do everything else to get to do this, right? And yeah, I love them. And I love that we're introducing what a real mastermind is to people.
This was an idea that Alfonso talked about when I first met him. He talked about doing retreats and having these events that were going to be life-changing. When we were planning the first one, he was telling me what he wanted. And this aligned with what I liked, because even though I didn't know what a mastermind was at that time, I knew that I liked to entertain and host people. This sounded amazing. So that was the first introduction to me jumping in on these retreats, is that this is an opportunity to engage in this wonderful experience. That was what initially drew me to these retreats and the idea of doing them. So the first idea was to create an opportunity for like-minded friends to travel and experience something. Our first retreats were a lot like that. We would look at properties in a cool place. We did some of the initial brainstorming ideas like mastermind sessions, but we were trying to incorporate a lot of other things as well, like business and different components to the retreat. And we started to focus on what was the most important, what were people getting the most value out of, and realizing that the mastermind sessions were more important than some of those other things. So it was important then for us to sort of put together the idea and shape the vision of that retreat.
The first official one took place in 2019. And we went to the Dominican Republic, and the vision that Helene and I had was that we would buy a house abroad, and then we could host all these masterminds at the same house. And COVID happened, and we were in the middle of purchasing a house specifically for these masterminds, and it just wasn't meant to be, you know. And going through COVID, I realized I don't want to be in the same place all the time. And so we actually pivoted and said, well, what if the mastermind retreat happened all over the world, in all kinds of different environments, all kinds of different countries?
So we've been to Dominican Republic a couple of times. We love it there. We've been there at least 20 or 30 times. I choose locations partly because of an interesting history behind them. There's also charity work that we can do and help with. So part of our mission in where we choose a location is there something else we can do? Is there something that the community can offer? Is it something unique that we can get from it? So there's a reason why we've chosen the places we have. So that's why we've gone to Dominican Republic a couple of times. We've gone to Spain. We've been to Italy. We've been to Costa Rica. And we've been to places in Canada and the United States. resort type areas or mansions that we've been able to reach out to. And we have planned in the future some retreats in Greece. We've planned retreats in resort hotels in Ontario. We're looking at locations in India, Africa, and Iceland are the next ones on the horizon.
Even though the content is the same, the program and the facilitation and the itinerary is the same, but what's different is the location and the people, which makes it a completely different event, right? And so I like this idea of taking people outside of their environment so they're completely present and involved in the experience. To me, that's incredible. And this is how all of this came to be, like this idea of traveling all over the world.
It's to create an environment that's different, unusual, interesting, and exciting. If you always do the same things in the same place, it becomes routine. You could do a mastermind on a Zoom call, get your people together and have a mastermind session. It can be inspiring and helpful, but the opportunity to be in a place where you're immersed for an entire 5-6 days in an environment that's different makes you think different, makes you see things differently. Even the food, the way the food is served, the way the people are around you affects how you think. And being in an environment that supports all of that just makes you think more, just makes you grow more and expand your mind and create wonderful ideas and visions for what your potential and for other people's are. The location and the environment is so important. We wanted to create something where you could maybe try something you've never done. We've done a sherry tasting. And up until the time we did this sherry tasting, I didn't realize there are so many kinds of sherry. We've gone to wine tastings. We've done all kinds of things that people wouldn't necessarily know about. Olive oil tasting. We went to an olive oil plantation and discovered amazing things about olive oil. So now when I'm eating my food, I recognize if there's a particular type of olive oil. Expanding your horizons makes you think bigger and broader, and more opportunities are there when you realize there's more to it than just our simple lives that we have and the things that we do. So we love the idea of themes of things. We have an intention to create a couples retreat. Couples that work together specifically. It is about relationship, but more specifically about working together as a couple and how your life and your work impacts each other. We're working on putting together a couples retreat. We have thoughts of a family-style event as well, where we'd be able to include children in an activity and the parents can do other things. So we're looking at those things, but the first thing will be the couples one. After every retreat, on the last night, we always like to do something a little special. So tonight we've hired a local band and a group of dancers. We have 30 people who are going to be performing for us tonight, traditional Costa Rican folklore dancing.